this is Renata. I'm coming to you with an accent tag video. You guys don't know, I am from Louisiana. Right now I am in Houston. I relocated after Hurricane Katrina because this is just where we happened to evacuate to. But I'm originally from Louisiana, and to be exact, I'm from the West Bank of New Orleans, in Plaquemines Parish, so I'm kind of down towards the boot. It's like 15 minutes outside of New Orleans, so for people who are not familiar with where Belchase is, or even where the West Bank of New Orleans is, I would just say New Orleans. Most people don't hear a distinct New Orleans accent, but they just know I am not from Houston because I don't have a southern twang, a southern drawl. For you, those of you who have noticed, New Orleans or southeast Louisiana is one of the only places in the South that does not have a southern drawl. And I'm fine with that. I've been asked, are you from the islands? Are you from Africa? And before leaving outside of my community, I had never noticed anything different because everybody I know sound like me. But when I went to college, I started, and this is crazy because I went to college at Nicholls State, and we know Nicholls State is in Thibodaux, Louisiana, and those people have heavy accents around Grand Isle, Houma, Thibodaux, Lafourche. Those areas have heavy Cajun Creole accents because they have heavy Creole populations. So it was funny for me to go outside of my little area and then be asked, are you from the islands? Are you from the islands? I swear I got that like every other day. Are you from the islands? And I have relatives who now live outside of Louisiana who ventured out or visited other places when we were younger. They used to get the same thing, and I just thought that was strange. People would ask them, are you from the islands? And I'm like, they were like, no, just the same as I was. I'm like, no, I thought that was strange. I thought that was odd. But seeing a lot of these accent tags and watching other people's videos, I've noticed those same comments that people find that accent like interesting, different from those of the South. And I've seen people comment that it's kind of like a Jamaican island African accent. But so this tag has a list of words that you say and a list of questions, common dialect of phrases or terms you may use for different ordinary daily things. So I added a few words of my own to the word list and also a few questions of my own. So here it goes. Aunt, which in other states people say aunt, like my husband, he says aunt. I say aunt or auntie. Roof, route, wash, oil. And I know there's a lot of people from southeast Louisiana, we have trouble with our R's and O's. So I have relatives that say Earl instead of oil. Let's see. Iron, salmon, theater, caramel, fire. And I know people that say fire instead of fire. And sometimes, depending on if I'm not trying to be proper, speak well, and I'm not being conscious of where I am, like most of the time it's when I'm home and I'm comfortable and I'm talking to either my relatives or my husband, I may be laxed and I might say fire. Let's see, data, sure, water, ruin, crayon, New Orleans. I hate when people say New Orleans or New Orleans or New Orleans. We don't say that, we say New Orleans. Pecan, other people say pecan, but we say pecan, like pecan candy. Both, again, probably. I know some people say probably or probably, but I say probably. Spitting image, avenue, Alabama, lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise. I have relatives that say mayonnaise. I've never said mayonnaise, but people do in our area. Let's see, syrup. I say syrup. I have people, relatives that say syrup, syrup. That's, to me, that's harder to say than syrup. Pajamas, caught, naturally, aluminum, envelope. I know people that say envelope. Car. I know people that say car. And even me sometimes, again, being lax, I will say car. Go get in the car. Or where your car at? Where you park your car? And that's another one. Park. We say park. I say park when I'm being laxed. But properly I say park. Saturn. I have so many relatives that cannot say Saturn. S-A-T-U-R-N. Saturn. Saturn. They will say Saturn. And I'm like, no, Saturn. And they'll be like, Saturn. And they're like, F it. Whatever, Saturn. My grandma, God rest her soul, would say Saturn. Roof, mouth, orange. Again, I have relatives that say orange. Give me one of those oranges. I say oranges. Praline or praline. I say praline, but I have relatives that say praline, and I know a lot of people say praline, like praline collection. But I really don't say praline or praline really, because where I'm from we call it pecan candy or pecan candy. Baby. I had to say it in New Orleans way because depending on who you're talking to, you may say baby. I say baby. Sometimes when I fall back into that New Orleans accent or whatever, depending on who I'm talking to, I'm like baby. Or if I'm talking to my husband, he'll be like baby. I'm like, yeah, baby. Look at that. Or it's mostly when I'm excited and I'll say, look at that little baby. And he was like, baby. I'm like, yeah, baby. And but if I'm being proper, if I'm speaking properly, I say baby. Corn. I know people say corn. Give me some of that corn. I know I probably said corn, not being cautious of the way I'm speaking. Monkey. My husband always laughs when I say monkey, because he said it's monkey. And I'm saying, no, yeah, monkey. And he's like, no, it's monkey. And I'm like, yeah, monkey. So, whatever. Bar. I have relatives that say bar. I'm going to the bar. Shrimp. I know people that say swimp. But I say shrimp. Spaghetti. Some people cannot say spaghetti, and I don't necessarily think that's a New Orleans or Southeast Louisiana thing. Some people just cannot say spaghetti. Like my daddy says spaghetti. Hand. Some people say hand. Give me your hand. I say give me your hand. If I'm, again, not watching how I say things, if I'm at home being comfortable. Toilet. I know some people say toilet. Turlet. Yeah, toilet. It's hard to say that incorrectly. It's toilet. Toilet is easier to say than turlet. Cold. Cold. We don't even say the D. Cold. It's cold outside. C-O-L-E. It's cold outside. And pour. Po. Po. Depends on who I'm talking to. I'm like, hey, po. Hey, gotta pop the you know what in and the window to throw it out. He po. That when I'm using it like that, I'll say po. But in other ways, I just say poor. He's poor. She's poor. Let's see. And here questions are: what is it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? Really? Really? We don't waste toilet paper like that. It's not happening. I've seen on so many New Orleans accent tags, all of us say the same thing. We do not waste toilet paper like that. We not TPing anybody's house because we need our toilet paper for ourselves, and that's a waste of money. We don't do that. We don't do that. But I've heard TPing on TV. What is the bug that when you touch it, it curls into a ball? When I was younger, we said doodle bug. But when I got older and came across and encountered other people, I heard it called roly poly, June bug, pill bug, but doodle bug or roly poly is what I say. What is the bubbly carbonated drink called? Cold drink. It's a cold drink. If you want a Coke, Sprite, Dr. Pepper, RC Cola, root beer, anything that's carbonated with acid that come in the can or bottle, it's called a cold drink. And we know what we're talking about when we say cold drink. Don't bring me no tea, don't bring me no water, don't bring me no juice. Cold drink is a soda. It's what other people refer to as soda. When I got older again, ventured out to different places, I learned that people call it soda. But at home, in Louisiana, we call it cold drink. Or either soft drink. Give me a soft drink, a cold drink. Let's see. What do you call gym shoes? Tennis shoes. Tennis shoes. Not tennis shoes, tennis shoes. Tenna. Tennis shoes. What do you say to address a group of people? How y'all doing? And hey y'all. What's up? Usually me, I'll be like, hi, hey. What do you call the kind of spider or spider-like creature that has an oval-shaped body and extremely long legs? Daddy long legs. What do you call your grandparents? Grandma, grandpa. What do you call godparents? Parent for godfather, and technically it's Maran for godmother. And these are French terms. You know, we have a large French influence. That's why a lot of our vocabulary words are different, or we pronounce things different, because of our French, Indian, Haitian, Caribbean, Spanish heritage and background. So, and actually Maran, which is godmother, kind of evolved to nanny, nana. So we say parent for godfather and nana or nanny for godmother. What do you call the wheel contraption in which you carry groceries at the supermarket? A basket. What do you call it when it rains while the sun is shining? Well, we always grew up calling it the devil beating his wife, but I'm a Girlfriends fan. That's one of my favorite, all-time favorite shows. I have their season DVDs and everything, and I heard them say it's God having a happy cry, and I like that, but typically growing up we would say it's the devil beating his wife. What is the thing you change the TV channels with? A remote. And what do you call the bug that flies and lights up at night? I know a lot of people say lightning bug, but again, encountering and branching out and exploring and getting to know other people in other places, I learned the correct term. Firefly. And I don't even know, that's not the scientific term, but other people in other places call it fireflies. Let's see. What do you call, do you turn the lights off or do you cut the lights off? I turn the lights off. But I know other people said cut the lights off. Let's see. Do you go grocery shopping or do you make groceries? I make groceries. My husband always thinks it's funny because I make groceries, and he's always like, "How do you make groceries? So you actually make the groceries?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm making the groceries. I'm going to the grocery store and putting the groceries in the cart. I'm making groceries." And there is actually a real origin of that. Again, we're French influenced culture and French people. The translation is faire les groseries, meaning faire means to do, to make. So We didn't pull that out of anywhere, just nowhere. We didn't pull it out the sky. It actually makes sense. There's a true French origin to that word, to making groceries. What do you say if you're watching a basketball game and the scores are close? Okay, me and my husband went back and forth about this because he heard me say it, and I'm like, oh, the score, it's like one what? I mean, they're tied, or the scores are close. He was like what? And I'm like, they like one what? And for the longest, he would try to say it, and he would say, what? It's like what? Isn't that what y'all say? And I'm like, no, that's not what we say. We say what and what. So it means close. What and what? Alright, so that's it. That's my accent tag. For everybody who is watching this, I tag you. You're it. See you next time.